Lots of useful advice, but are Harry and Meghan too stupid to follow it? As we enter 2024, many experts and commentators are offering advice on what Harry and Meghan should do differently this year. But will Harry and Meghan heed any of it, or will they continue to do the same things, further ruining their reputations? Welcome, good to see you. Sometimes I think Harry and Meghan sit around thinking, gee, we just can't do anything right, can we? And sometimes I have to agree with them, it really does seem that way. But the problem is that it probably is true. That is, it really does seem like everything they take on absolutely fails. And every time they try to look better, it only turns out worse for them. They seem to have finally realized that the excessive attention to their personas has been a big problem. We haven't heard from them in a long time, it's uncharacteristic of them. So they're either trying to keep a low profile in the hope that we'll forget everything that happened and give them a chance for a fresh start, or perhaps there's something going on behind the scenes that they don't want us to know about. Personally, I suspect that Meghan and Harry's marriage is over and they are just waiting for the right time to announce their divorce. But there are also reports that Harry and Meghan are preparing some sort of rebranding to present themselves in a revamped look and come back even stronger than before. Will they succeed if that is their plan? Of course they won't. But that has never stopped them from trying. It's never stopped them before, has it? One thing is certain, Harry and Meghan will no longer be able to make money from slinging mud at the royal family. They will have to come up with something else that is more positive and meaningful to the people of the world. Their brand has been extremely toxic so far, people are tired of it. People aren't interested in that kind of negativity. And it's understandable why. We have enough problems in the world as it is. I believe that public figures who claim to entertain or inspire us, as Harry and Meghan have stated, are responsible for just that. After all, we live in very stressful times. We need a respite from it all. We need something to strive for, something to hope for. The problem, however, as I see it, is that Harry and Meghan simply don't have anything to offer. So the experts are giving them their advice on what Harry and Meghan should and shouldn't do. I think everyone would agree that Harry and Meghan should first and foremost make peace with the royal family, if that's even still possible. If you ask me, a lot of people say, I don't know how they can do that. The family will never forgive Meghan. Harry might have a chance to come back, but I think he'd have to dump Meghan first. According to Express Online, royal commentator Michael Cole recently spoke out on the situation. He was interviewed by GB News and said that Harry and Meghan need to step out of a new box as they have criticized their own family endlessly in the past year. I think Michael Cole raises a very important point, but the question is, will Harry and Meghan heed this sound advice? Or will they continue to make money any way they can, even if it includes further vilifying Harry's family? Michael was also hit hard by Harry's attempt to blackmail his father over Frogmore Cottage last year, essentially telling King Charles, "So you don't want to see your grandchildren anymore?" And I agree with Michael, it was a very mean-spirited way to handle the situation. And again, we don't even know for sure if those grandchildren actually exist. Mr. Cole called it a great tragedy that the king never sees Prince Archie or Princess Lilibeth. And I agree with him, assuming the children are real. If Archie and Lilibeth are real, I feel sorry for them because they've been put in the position of children of divorced parents, even if Harry and Meghan are still together. They're caught in the middle of this family squabble, and I don't like that at all. It bothers me perhaps more than anything else, when children are used as pawns in some game between adults. How low can you stoop to? I know Harry and Meghan think they're punishing the king by not letting him see them or Prince Archie or Princess Lilibeth, but the ones who really suffer the most from this are Archie and Lilibeth. Again, if they are real. By all accounts, the king is an absolutely loving grandfather. He loves spending time with Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and little Prince Louis. He adores them. You can see that he just loves them. He loves spending time with them. But Harry and Meghan don't seem interested in giving their children the opportunity to have the same relationship with their own grandfather, which is absolutely horrible if you ask me. I still remember the time I spent with my grandmother when I was a little girl, and now being a grandmother myself, I have to say that the relationship between grandparents and grandchildren is special. We can allow them things that their parents would never allow, and we can truly give them love and care in a way that maybe we couldn't with our own children. Maybe with our kids we were too busy, too distracted, and with grandchildren we get a second chance. And I think King Charles feels the same way, especially after Harry accused him of being a cold, detached father. I'm sure he'd appreciate the chance to make amends. I know Harry has said some terrible things about his father, but at the same time he needs to realize that King Charles is not going to live forever in this world. Harry really needs to spend time with him while he has the chance. I don't believe that King Charles will live as long as his mother did. I could be wrong, I hope I am wrong. But the Queen was in excellent health. The Queen was a very, very special person. I don't think Charles' health is as good as hers was at his age. And men probably live shorter lives than women. So Harry probably doesn't have decades to make peace with his father. He needs to do it now. Michael Cole also thinks that King Charles is trying to be a very good grandfather because he's showing the kind of love for the family that he himself may not have gotten as a child. And we've seen that. We've seen how affectionate the king is with his grandchildren. We saw him hugging Louis in that video after Harry claimed he wasn't hugging. Obviously, that wasn't true. To be fair to Harry, maybe when he was a kid, it really was. Maybe King Charles really wasn't as in touch with his emotions back then. But obviously something has changed in that regard. He's obviously not afraid to express his love now. I remember this happening with my own father. I remember when I was a little girl, my father was a little, shall we say, stern. He wasn't particularly affectionate, didn't express feelings strongly, was a little distant from all of us, and mostly when he interacted with us, he would scold us or tell us we were doing something wrong. But then as he got older and I had kids of my own, and he became a grandfather, he showed a completely different side of himself, and our relationship improved a lot. Harry could have that right now if only he would apologize, admitted that he and Meghan had made some big mistakes, admitted that he was wrong, and I believe his family would have forgiven him, and maybe William wouldn't forgive him. But you know what, sometimes that's the way it has to be. I do believe, however, that the king was serious when he said that the door is always open for Harry. I believe that at this point it doesn't matter anymore. King Charles loves his son, no matter what. He realizes that Harry was zombified by Meghan Markle. And I think that if Harry takes the right steps, divorce Meghan and come home to apologize for everything he's done, I believe he can reunite with his family. The first step, however, is to get rid of Meghan Markle. Because, let's remember, Meghan doesn't really believe in family. She doesn't care about family. Just look at what she did to her own family. She cut off the father who took care of her whole life. The only family member she has a relationship with now is her mother Doria, who abandoned her as a child. I don't really understand why Doria gets an indulgence and her father doesn't. But I guess Doria probably taught her all these cheating ways. So I guess Meghan should be grateful to her for that. Mr. Cole said, "We have a situation where Meghan hardly speaks to any family members apart from her mother and one niece." And I agree with him. This is something we should be paying attention to. It's a big problem that shows Meghan Markle is a very sick person. So he suggests that Harry and Meghan are stepping out of a new box. But he doesn't say exactly what he means by that. But there are plenty of people who are now telling Harry and Meghan the same thing. They have to stop what they're doing. They have to find a new way of living, a new way of making money, and only then will they have any hope of redemption. And even then, it's only hope. What do you think? If you could give Harry and Meghan some advice, what advice would you give them? Please share your opinions in the comments below. As always, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like it and share it with anyone who might be interested. If you haven't already, please be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any updates. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Wishing you a wonderful day and a successful 2024. Happy New Year. Be happy, healthy, and successful. I look forward to seeing you in future videos.